What's going on, YouTube? Nathan back with another video presentation. Hope everyone's had a great weekend so far. Hope everybody stayed safe. Everyone's all ready for the a new week to begin. Before we get into the video, there's a few things that I need to say up front. I debuted my first podcast episode. That'll be on Spotify. I will leave that link in the description of this video as I will finish this tonight. As soon as I finish this recording. Um, I want to give a little a special shout out to YouTuber by the name of James. I'm saying his name right, James Gype Gype. Definitely check him out. Definitely supports small YouTubers, small businesses. Let's support the small YouTubers. So I'll leave his link in the description below if you got to check him out. I appreciate the support. Those that are new to the channel, welcome. Again, while I'm having a conversation, sports, current events, things like that. So we got a lot to get into tonight. This will be episode 2 for the podcast. But we're going to talk about great basketball tonight, and I'm looking forward to some more basketball tomorrow. So we're going to start with the Mystics. We're going to recap. We're going to start with the Mystics. The Mystics lost tonight. The Atlanta Dream. Well, earlier this afternoon, 101-78. This was their most lopsided L of the season. Very disappointed. They did pretty well in the first quarter. And just again, I keep emphasizing, sometimes you got the others need to help each other create a shot. I'm looking, for example, here's a great. Natasha Cloud. She went out with in the third quarter. She aggravated her hip, so she left like late in the third quarter. But she played 25 minutes, only made 1 3. That was it. Sydney Wise, she did not play. From what I'm understanding, Coach G says she might be back this next upcoming game against the Dream home, which is on the 17th, I believe. But okay, Tina Charles, 5 for 17 from the field, 29%. One of 5 from 3, 20%. It's just something about creating opportunities for others, but at the same time, if there's a shot that's just not working for you, then we need to change that approach. We need a couple shots off the pick and roll, a floppy, something to get the offense going. And after that first quarter, it was just really disappointing to see, especially in the second half, to see how we went cold. Courtney Williams went off. She dropped 21, 61.5% from the field, 67% from 3. Odyssey Sims, 57% from the field. Tiffany Hayes, Cheyenne Parker. I mean, even Tiana Hawkins, former Mystic, shout out to Tiana Hawkins. I mean, even got a couple threes in there. So I mean, disappointing. The shooting was definitely off. But when you take 61 shots and only make 23 out of 61, and on top of that, that's not going to get it done. And again, that's what I'm saying. It's just something about I think when you're struggling, I'm using Tina Charles as an example because we are looking to her to carry to carry the load, and I'm saying this is where the others. I'm saying instead of her carrying the load, she could help Theresa Placence. I keep saying her last name wrong. TP. Let me just say I'm using her nickname TP. Like, okay, 50% from the field and 50% from the 3. Okay. But I'm looking at Shavonte Sellis, right? She played 16 minutes. All right, she struggled from 3, over 3, and over 2. Tina can help her get a shot. Leilani Mitchell, the same thing. Help the others create a shot. I'm just not really. I see that, but I feel like that should have been the adjustment that he should have made. I think the lineup I did not like the starting lineup per se. I still think he really should have Kiara Leslie starting um, at the 3 or the 2 actually, and put Ariel at the 3. I just think that lineup needs to just be small. But and then also too, the turnovers really killed us. We had 17 compared to their 13. 10 points was scored off. Atlanta scored 10 points on turnovers by us, and then again, like also too, the foul trouble. We got to. I mean, even though they had 22, we had 19. I felt like there was a couple situations where we got to be careful with the fouls. So we fall. Let me look at the standings real quick. We're 4-6. I believe we're now 1-4 in the Commissioner's Cup. So, from what I'm understanding, according here, so the first 2 teams that are tied head-to-head record, cumulative points, second, differential, overall winning percentage, in conference opponents, and then the fourth's a coin flip. So right now, it's Connecticut and Seattle ranked number 1 in both conferences. We're 5th. I don't see Indiana or Los Angeles even getting in the Commissioner's Cup. So, yeah, I mean, just overall, it's just a little disappointing, but I'm sure they'll pick it back up. I do want to bring up a quick stat. Prior to this game, and I'll leave this in the description. This is from William Hill Sportsbook. Stella Johnson, last year in the bubble, she scored 25 points. She made 6 threes. That was most by a Washington Mystic rookie. And then, according here, Washington averaged 91.5 points per game against the Dream last season, the second highest points per game averaging against Atlanta in the series history. And then Washington committed just 1 turnover, the fewest turnovers recorded in a game in franchise history. So, I don't know. I think Atlanta. I think Atlanta had our number. But we'll see him again. We'll see him on the 17th, and it'll be a home game. So we just gotta go back and film, practice. We'll be good to go. Next, I want to transition into the NBA. It was some great basketball today. Great basketball. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Brooklyn Nets 107-96. The series is tied 2-2. First and foremost, I wanted to send my thoughts and prayers to Kyrie Irving. That was a nasty injury, sprained ankle. I don't see him coming back at all. I'll be amazed if he even is cleared to play Game 5. James Harden, I don't know what he's going to look like. I can't see a guy with a hamstring tightness in 48 hours going back out there to play. To me, that's when you're going against a guy like PJ Tucker and Chris Middleton. I just don't see a guy being in that type of ready state of mind to play. So this is where, again, I really emphasize the others. This is where the others have to step up. I want to emphasize this for y'all real quick. I'm looking at Joe Harris, Blake Griffin, Jeff Green, Landry Shamet, Mike James. These brothers have got to step up. What I mean by that is, see, this notion that you can win an NBA, you can win a championship when you got the best players, that's a half truth. When you have others, for example, right? Look at the Spurs. The year after when Ray Allen hit that 3, and the next year when San Antonio got their revenge, the others stepped up. Boris Diaw, Danny Green, Patty Mills, Marco Bellinelli. The others matter. Joe Harris played 38 minutes and only gave in 8 points. You got to give me more than 8 points. Blake Griffin played 25 minutes, 8 points. Jeff Green, 27 minutes, 8 points. Landry Shamet, 5 points. These guys have got to step it up. I seen what Blake Griffin can do when he was with the Los Angeles Clippers. Everyone's saying he took, 2 years off here and there, but I know it's the others that have got to step it up. Kevin Durant now may have to be a facilitator, but at the end of the day, I mean, we all know he's not really a facilitator because that was really James Harden. And then when James went down, Kyrie. Now that Kyrie's gone, Kevin Durant now has to facilitate the ball to Joe Harris, Blake, Jeff Green, Nicholas Claxton, uh, Landry Shaman. So the others have really got to step it up. Giannis, even though Giannis had 34, Giannis, I believe coming into this game was 421 from three. He's got to stop shooting threes. I learn how to post up or start taking some mid range J's. I think that every time when he takes a three, my heart stops because it's just like, God, you are a man of beast. Like, pound the box. I mean, you're playing against smaller guys. Pound them in the paint. 421 from three, but yet he still just keeps taking them. Chris Middleton, played 19 minutes, and 19 points. PJ Tucker, 13. I just think again, I think Milwaukee's got to take advantage of this now. Now that two of the three are out, and that's not their problem. Milwaukee has to take advantage of it, and we'll see what happens in Game 5. I don't see James. I just can't see James Harden in 2 days just come back and go, okay, I'm ready to go. I just don't see it, especially not with someone like with a hamstring tightness. And then Kyrie, well, no, but I'm hoping that it's not. I'm glad that the X-rays came back negative. It's just a sprain, but very disappointed in Brooklyn, especially down the stretch. They weren't really hitting. They were taking some bad shots, and they weren't getting good looks. But Game 5, we're gonna see how it looks, and I really expect again. I'm looking at Blake Griffin, Joe Harris, Jeff Green. They bought these guys there for more than just a name. They just because you had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and James Harden, that doesn't mean okay. Well, we're good now. But I do think this is a test on Kevin Durant for sure. But we'll see. But I've seen Kevin Durant. I have seen him fulfill what he's been told. I have seen it. I have seen Kevin Durant do it. Phoenix Suns sweep the Denver Nuggets. It was a great game. Disappointed to see the Joker get ejected like that. First and foremost, I don't think you should eject a guy like that. Not in the midst of a game where it's your season on the line, and I just it just really shows how soft the NBA is. It just shows how soft it is, like cottonelle tissue. And I'm really disappointed in Denver. There's a couple things that I took note. I wish do I have it here? Hold on. There's a couple notes I want to bring up. So the biggest thing with Denver is obviously Michael Porter Jr. is going to get the extension. They're going to have to get Jamal Murray will be back healthy. They got Ball Boy. My only concern is who stays and who's not. Because there's a lot of guys, like for example, Will Barton may be gone. I don't know who you can resign, and I don't know because guys, Aaron Gordon can be looking for a big payday, and also too, you may have to reevaluate who you're going to keep if you're Denver. So those are questions, and they're going in the off season if you're Denver. But I just think when Jamal Murray went down with that injury, Mike Malone, I believe they went 13-5 when he went down with that injury. So Mike Malone definitely took control of the ship. It was it's to me, I feel like it's embarrassing to get swept. I feel like you should at least, as a great player like Jokic is, you should at least win one game by yourself. To me, Phoenix, Chris Paul, man, I can't say enough about him. I mean, he went off in the third quarter. You know, I'm on the record. I never said Chris Paul was done. I've always felt like Chris Paul, you know, for just found himself and just wherever he went, he made teams better. I just felt like I think because of his style of play and his age and the way he was getting bounced out of the playoffs, I think that's where you have these casual fans talking about, it's time for you to retire, blah 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 blah. Cameron, what's good? These NBA players, if you don't come ready, anything can happen. Absolutely, anything can happen. They don't come ready, anything can happen. And I just don't think Denver was ready for it tonight. I don't think. I think Milwaukee, the first two games, I think they were a deer in the headlights. I think after taking that jab and were frazzled, they picked themselves up. But back to Chris Paul, we got to give Chris Paul the respect that he deserves. I know from what at first, he and Monty Williams didn't get along, but man, I mean, just how he's taken this team as a leader. That I talked about the Bucks and that. Yes, I did. I talked about how Kevin Durant, everyone's going to look at KD and basically say, "Hey, you got to lead this team to the promised land." I can't see James Harden playing in 48 hours off hamstring tightness. The others have to step up. Joe Harris, Blake Griffin, Lamet, Landry Shamet. They got to step it up. Jeff Green too. That's what they got them there for. But I think Milwaukee will win Game 5. But if they win Game 5, this series is over for Milwaukee and Brooklyn. This game's over. This series is over in 6 if Milwaukee wins Game 5. But back to Chris Paul. Let's just give Chris Paul the respect that he deserves. But again, the way he's taken this team, they haven't been in the playoffs since 2010. And I just noticed last year when they were in the bubble, Monty Williams took over, that was as a coach. They went 8-0. I said to myself, that team, and I think I said this in the video about, when Stephen A was all upset about Steve Nash getting hired as the coach for Brooklyn. I said that this team led by Monty Williams, watch out. Because I felt like he didn't get the opportunity in New Orleans because Dell Demps let him go, even though he had an injury-plagued team at the time. We had Tyreek Evans, Eric Gordon, Ryan Anderson, but that's besides the point. To see where this Phoenix Sun team was last year to now, got to give Monty Williams credit and the respect credit. We have to give Chris Paul, Devin Booker. Kobe Bryant would be proud of Devin. I don't care. I just see a different mentality on Devin Booker. I have the Clippers and the Suns in the Western Conference Finals. Now, I'm not going to say until you'll get the predictions will win the series after Game 1. But that's what I have in the Western Conference Finals. It's the Clippers and the Suns. I called it early this year, Harden out of shape, and he was going to get injured. And Elliott said being in shape in an overstatement. Please call Elliott out. Didn't mean to cut you off from your Phoenix topic. Oh, no, it's all good. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I did want to call out, shout out to Elliott. Basically was, got on me and Cameron about, this Harden being out of shape. I wasn't looking at it. He did because if you look when he was in Houston before he was traded, he did come in end of the season out of shape. And I felt like he was doing that just to get out of Houston. And there's something about being in NBA shape, and it matters. It's not an overstatement. It's the truth. For example, right, when look at Charles Barkley when he came into the league from Auburn University. Chuck was a great college player, but he was not in NBA shape. And he even said it. Moses Malone told him, look, you want to be successful in the league, get your ass in shape. I'm just paraphrasing it. But James Harden, see, one thing you got to be careful when you're out of shape, especially when you're an NBA player, you're going to have little nagging injuries creep up on you. So I guarantee you, he's not. We can say he's having a great year, but when you're not really keeping yourself in shape, that makes a difference. And hamstring tightness. I mean, anyone can excuse me, have hamstring tightness, but he played 46 games now and he can't stay on the court. Well, I think a lot of it also too. Yeah, he can't stay on the court. It's nagging injury. So please tag. I will do that. I will do that for sure. I got you. It just disappointing to see James Harden, but for me, it was more about we didn't call out James Harden. He failed, in my personal opinion. He failed as a leader in Houston. We didn't call that out. We gave that a pass. I think it's. I don't know. I don't appreciate when after 9-10 games you want out, and meanwhile you came in the training camp out of shape. Uh, you had guys like John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins calling that out. You were at a rapper's birthday party, and no one had a problem with that. Everyone was like, "Oh, he has to. He if he doesn't want to be there, doesn't want to be there." But me personally, like, he got what he wanted, and James Harden and Kyrie Irving showed me that they. I mean, but before the season, you can point the stats at me all you want to about James Harden in Brooklyn. But before that, he's shown me he's never sacrificed. Kyrie Irving showed me that he can never sacrifice. The one that showed me he can sacrifice is Kevin Durant. So that's why Kevin Durant has to be the facilitator, but I think people making him out like he can't do it. I think he can. But back to Phoenix. It was a really, really good series. I was just disappointed, the last 5 minutes of this game to see the shots that Denver was taking. They looked winded. They quit. Will Barton, who was on minutes restriction, I think he played almost 40 minutes. There's a couple of times I think it was like they're just taking plenty of time on the clock. They didn't need to take those type of shots. I just feel like when you take shots like that, you've pushed the panic button. Phoenix was the better team. I agree with that, Cameron. They definitely were the better team. But again, next man up. Jamal Murray wasn't there. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Will Barton, CP3, the difference maker. Yeah, he was a difference maker, but at the same time, I'm looking at Denver. I'm saying the others have got to step it up. Like, Jokic goes down. Oh, he fouls out the game. Like, that can't happen. Others have got to step it up, and it's just disappointing to see how the team looked. I felt like they had it there, maybe like 2 minutes to go, but they turned the ball over, and then when Chris Paul dunked, that was the game to me. So, congratulations to the Phoenix Suns. Denver, I think the future's still bright. Disappointed to see Jamal Murray there, but he definitely will get a healthy Jamal Murray back. Michael Porter Jr., like I said, rookie, the contract extension will be there. I don't really know as terms of like a guys like a Will Barton, who's going to stay, who's going to leave. I think, in my personal opinion, I think that's where you got to put Mike Malone on the hot seat a little bit. Give him a pass. But he's missing one. His best star wasn't there. So Chris Paul and Devin Booker, I believe, this whole series was it 87 points combined. That's amazing. And then again, the Phoenix Suns, man. Like I said, I called it. I had them going to the West. I still believe Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, as we transition into the next game, I believe that the Clippers will defeat the Utah Jazz. I took a couple notes here about Utah and Los Angeles. They both shot 48% from the field. Rudy Gobert has to dominate the small lineup that Ty Lue's put out there. I think doubling Donovan Mitchell definitely worked. Paul George, that's what they got him there for. It's games like this is where you expect Paul George to show why he was with that contract extension, why Kawhi Leonard wanted to play alongside him. It's games like that matters. Now, Donovan Mitchell, I think he came down his ankle wrong. I'm not sure. Like, I really haven't followed up with that, but I know he was kind of hobbled and he walked off game in that last game. So I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know where where if he's good to go. And then with Mike Conley's not there neither. So the Clippers have got to take advantage of that and again play off the momentum of this game. I said the same thing about Denver. I mean, not Denver, when they played Dallas. Dallas took their foot off in game 6. And that was the end of that. So I'm a firm believer that the Clippers will win. I have the Clippers winning in 6. I like Utah. It's just something about Ty Lue's teams I saw when he was in Cleveland, and the adjustments that he's made. It's really been effective. So Kawhi Leonard. Let me look at the stats real quick. I believe Kawhi Leonard led the team in scoring. Yeah, 34. Paul George 31. Another thing too that makes a difference is Bogdanovic. He played 36 minutes, only 9 points. Royce O'Neal is really an athletic defender. Derek Favors is, he's not really on the stat sheet like that. And then Jordan Clarkson. So, your minutes are coming from Bogdanovic, O'Neal, Gobert, Mitchell, Angles, Clarkson, Favors. So, the shooting has to be consistent. Bogdanovic can't give me 9 points. Joe Angles can't give me 9. He has to give me at least 20. Clarkson, who's a 6th man of the year, has to give me more. Again, like Terrence Mann, that made and putting him in the lineup, that made a difference. Nicholas Batum, inserting him, that made a difference. Marcus Morris, I think he needs to be coming off the bench. But going forward, I think the lineup should be Reggie Jackson, Paul George, Batum, Kawhi, and then Terrence Mann. I think that should be your lineup going forward if you're the Clippers. But we'll see what happens in game 4. One transition in the baseball, the Baltimore Orioles lost. They got swept today. It's a 4-game losing streak. Disappointing. The offense has been good. Was sluggish. It's been sluggish. New series against Cleveland. I see Baltimore taking this one game. The pitching just was not that good today. I felt like it wasn't. Let me look at the stats. Bruce Zimmerman, 5 innings and 2 batters, gave up 6 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 3, struck out 3. Cesar Valdez is he's just not for this team. 2 innings pitched, gave up 3, gave up 2 earned runs, walked 2, struck out 2. 2 hits was all Baltimore could muster today versus Tampa Bay's 7 runs and 10 hits. I don't know what else I could say. It's just disappointing. That's our 15th straight road loss with Baltimore. Again, we go into Cleveland. So we'll see. And then I want to transition into some more Major League Baseball talk. My most disappointing team by far is the New York Yankees, the Atlanta Braves. The Yankees, I feel like this is as far. I think Brian Cashman needs to be called to the table. Uh, they haven't got. I feel like on paper, this team should be better. I mean, this team is a World Series team, but when the games are not written on paper, I'm disappointed in how they've been playing. Injuries, the adjustments aren't being made, and to see this is a team everyone raved about. Oh, they're going to go to the World Series, and I'm looking, and I'm looking. Let me just look at the record real quick. They're 32. They're 33 and 32. They're they're fourth place. The Yankees should not be fourth place. Plain and simple. The Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, the Blue Jays to me are playing way much better than the Yankees. Now on the same. Now I just want to compare this. The Anaheim Angels. They're on a 6-game win streak, led by Mike Trout, who's coming off an injury. Now your AL MVP, in my personal opinion, is Vladimir Guerrero. He hit his 20th home run today. And I just think that the Yankees are the most disappointing team. So there has to be some adjustments made. Has to be, and I think Brian Cashman has to go. But we'll see. In the National League, the Atlanta Braves are my most disappointing team. You got to give me Freddie Freeman. I know he'll I know what Freddie Freeman's capable of producing. They'll get more out of Dansby Swanson. That bullpen will get it together, but that bullpen has to be consistent. I mean, the NL East honestly, like it's still like the Nationals are 7.5 games back. The Florida Marlins, I don't call them Miami, they're 7.5 games back. The Giants are looking like the Giants a couple years ago. They're 40 wins. Behind them, the Dodgers, the Padres. I don't think it's a reality check for the Padres personally. I just think they're just playing against some good teams, and teams are starting to figure them out a little bit. But they're definitely playing. Tatis hit a grand slam today, so I still am a firm believer. I think the Pirates will be a bet. Well, I think out of all of us, I don't think the Pirates will be. I think will be the worst team. But I think the way that Diamondbacks are playing, they might be the worst team. So it's looking like the Diamondbacks will get the number 1 overall pick. The Pirates. No, I'm sorry, the Orioles and the Pirates. Rockies, Nationals. That looks like my top 5 for the picks for next first round. So, but that's all that's happened today. Oh, I definitely forgot. I wanted to get into Philadelphia plays Atlanta. I forgot to talk about this. I apologize. So I do have my notes here. The keys for Atlanta to come back and to tie the series up 2-2. Improve on the 3-point shooting. They shot 26% as a cohesive unit in Game 3. They have to vastly improve on that. And I know that, again, Trey Young, Kevin Herter, the other Bogdanovich, John Collins, I know that they're shooters and it'll improve. Slow Ben Simmons down. Like in Washington, I hate to say it, but I think you have to go to foul him or double team him. But when you have, again, Seth Curry, Tobias Harris, George Hill, and some other guys I can't think off the top of my head. Atlanta's small, and I think Atlanta can do. I think Atlanta's capable of double teaming, but I think that's the only way you can slow Ben Simmons down. And then also to win the battles on the boards, Clint Capella can hold his own weight for sure, but I think rebounding against Philadelphia is key in winning Game 4, in my personal opinion. So, with that being said, I think it was definitely a great weekend for basketball. disappointing to see that with Kyrie. I really do hope my thoughts and prayers go with him. I saw some crutches and a walking boot. James Harden. That's a conversation that we need to have at some point. They only play 36 games, and as Cameron mentioned it, 46 games, excuse me. And you can't stay on the court. That's a concern. But it's not really just him. I mean, the plethora of injuries this year. Anthony Davis, Jamal Murray, LeBron. I mean, it's just a few to just the name off the top of my head. I mean, I understand injuries are a part of the game, but the way the injuries are happening is very, very concerning to me. And that's something we need to address because, I mean, a lot of, imagine Anthony Davis and LeBron healthy. That Phoenix, that game against Phoenix may be different. We just got to look at it like that. Let me see if I can find that real quick. NBA injuries. I mean, it was a lot of injuries. Yeah, like Mike Conley, Luka. Hold on. Let me use this one. Let me use this list better. I'm trying to find. I saw it in a tweet, and if I remember to find that tweet, I'll put it in the description for y'all to see. But it's just the amount of injuries this year. It's just been bad, and it's kind of really like that's crazy. Again, prime example. Lakers had again LeBron, AD, Marcus Gasol, Kuzma, all at once, and I understand the Lakers had probably the shortest off season, but I mean, damn, and then like for example, LaMelo Ball, where he injured his wrist. James Wiseman, his knee. I'm trying to think who else. Joel Embiid, he tore his meniscus. Serge Ibaka is out for the rest of the play. He just got surgery on his back. Spencer Dinwiddie's supposed to be back, supposedly. Who else am I looking at? I mean, that's just a number of guys who make a significant impact on these teams, and they're missing. And these guys and it's just it really sucks to see some of these guys go down with injuries. It really is, for sure. We gotta say, what if? Again, what if Denver had Jamal Murray? What if Luka didn't have that that neck injury? Serge Ibaka didn't have to get back surgery. Marcus Gasol, Kyle Kuzma, Anthony Davis, and LeBron at full strength. That makes a difference, y'all. But with that being said, I have Philadelphia winning. I have Philadelphia winning tomorrow, but I think those are the keys for Atlanta to win. Disappointed that the Mystics lost tonight. I hate to see Denver go out like that, and especially the MVP, the way that was rejected. Oh, I did want to also reference that the way that the NBA is, that turns people off. Because especially in that situation, you don't do that. But I want to shout out Cameron real quick. I'll find that tweet. 2021 NBA. Hard foul equals flagrant one. Flagrant one equals flagrant two. That's the state of the NBA. And I mean, I'm all for, playing tough, and there's certain things, you don't want to kill a guy on the court, but let these boys play, man. Let them play. I don't want to see again. I don't want to see guys getting severely hurt, but they leave it out. They leave their blood, sweat, and tears on that court, and you know, at this point, it maybe just like let them just put a little bit like flag football. You remember we were growing up, flag football. If you caught the ball, you tuck one of those things off. Just put it around their waist. That's how the NBA should just play at this point. Same thing with the NFL. At this point, just let it just be a flag sport. Let's. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts on these games. What do you think about Major League Baseball talk? I didn't even bring up the fact that the Toronto Blue Jays hit 8 home runs against the Boston Red Sox without George Springer. 8 home runs. I've never seen that before. That's something you see on MLB The Show. So if you are anyone in Boston's bullpen, anyone in that locker room, you should feel embarrassed. You should. That's embarrassing. I'm not. Listen, you want to see me get ejected? I'm plunking the guy. If he hit 8 home runs as a collective unit, I'm plunking the guy. You want to see me throw hands and get ejected and get escorted to the clubhouse? Because I know that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. But with that being said, this episode will go on Spotify and Anchor. I'll be sure to leave that in the description for y'all to see. I will also leave, if I find, I'll leave the stat for the Mystics in the description as well. But if you enjoyed the content that you're seeing, please be sure to hit that like button, comment, got more topics for me to discuss. Consider hitting that subscribe button along with notifications on. With that being said, I'm out. Peace. Stay up. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And it's off. Start of a new week. Take care.